Hi and welcome. This is Ricky, and I am going on to Essay 7, and I chose to do this audio essay on awakening up the mountain. Um, you know, when it comes to A Course in Miracles, for many of us, it is about awakening. Some just, like my teacher likes to say, it's just they want the dream. They want a happy little dream going on, and that's fine. That's what they're into. But for myself, from the minute I think I came out of mama, I wanted to awaken. It's been in me. It's my design to awaken. And as I awaken the world. And that's one of the biggest reasons that the A Course in Miracles, um, turned me on. And I especially am turned on to and have been for ever since I found it, was Manual 3. Um, and that Manual 3 talks about the manual for teachers. It's about, God's teachers, how we get there and why we get there and what we're here to do. And I think it's really wonderful reading. Um, One of my fellow teachers today and I this morning were having a wonderful discussion on, let me slow down a minute. We were having a really wonderful discussion on how to carry the message about, and about Christ and about awakening and ACIM talks about as we awaken, you know, uh, this Christ message comes through us and we bring it to the world. And it really got me to thinking, as it did my fellow teacher, um, what, what is that Christ message thing that we get awakened to, and exactly, uh, you know, what is Spirit asking of us? Are we supposed to go out there and I call it falling on my sword? Am I supposed to go out there and just talk to the people in the grocery store and everything else about um you know here we go, about we're really Christ, and the consciousness is coming in, and you need to start releasing and forgiving, because there's so much more than this, and we're on our way out of here, so you might want to get around to it. I don't think too many people would listen to me. I don't think that's the message uh, that I'm really supposed to carry. And so, as he and I were discussing it, that question about the message and what do we carry, I was talking to him about, up the mountain, and that's kind of how I see things, is every step that I take closer to actually connecting to my true nature, who I really am, underneath this Ricky suit over here, who I truly am. Every step I take um, in awareness takes me a step further up that mountain. And it doesn't mean I'm better or anything else. It just means I can see a little clearer. Uh, I have a little bit of a different perspective on things. I'm not as most times I'm not as caught up in the world and the rules and the regulations and how I'm seen and what I should do, and that I should hate you because, and all this garbage we can get caught in. I just kind of, start having a different point of view. And point of view is a funny word. It's a funny phrase, because you think about it. It has to do with our point of view, what I am able to see from where I am. And in this case, where I am on the mountain. So I said, well, I think what I tend to do with people is I tend to, God will, or in my case, I call him El Raphael. He's my cool fella I call God. Anyway, from that place of where I am, Raphael will bring people to me, and that's one of the prayers I say to him regularly is, please, show me where you would have me go, and have me do what you would have me do, and talk to who you would have me talk to, and bring the message that you would have me bring. So as my fellow teacher and myself were talking about that, I kind of felt that the message that I carry is from the perspective where I am. So if I'm taken someplace or talking to somebody and just happen to see a sad face, and for some reason they feel compelled to talk to me, and I feel compelled to listen, and sometimes it's a message. It's something that I see a little differently because of my point of view, where I am on that mountain. And sometimes just because of where I am, I just in the being, because we're all one, remember? So just in the being in proximity, just in the being there, and maybe the calm on my face, or that I'm not wanting to rip somebody's head off, just like they're wanting to rip somebody's head off. I'm not caught in the chaos. I'm not caught in the energies. Just the being there helps them to see. And we were also talking about, and yeah, this is on the side, but that's okay. We were talking about a while back about the giving, and ACIM talks about people are either have love, or are looking for love, and are giving love, or are looking for love. And so we had gotten into talking, same teacher, we'd gotten into talking about what that would look like. And so someone that's in a place to me of needing love or crying for love is just, I'm in such a mixed up pickle. I just can't see. I can't see myself. I can't see who I am. I am not in touch with the Christ that I am. I'm not in touch with the who I am. I'm not in touch with the fact that I am a little thought in the mind of God. That's what I am. I am Christ consciousness. But when I want to, rip somebody's face off, when I'm angry, when I can't see it, when I'm beating myself up, when I hate my guts and everybody around me because I think I'm a stupid mistake, you know, it's really hard to get in touch with that love, with that acceptance, with that value of self. It's really, really hard to get in touch with that. So, when someone is giving love, they are, and it's happened to me at times, I'm in a place of owning my worth, of owning my innocence, of owning my space, my place, in truth, as Christ, the Son of God, down here experiencing, down here playing. And when I am feeling that light energy, that connection to God, I I do not, I do not for that second feel worthless and lonely. I feel one and peaceful. And that's the love that I bring when someone, to someone that's in that space of just need, just I can't accept myself. And as I sit there quietly and listen, I listen to them, and I hold that sacred space of, the that book from years ago, I'm okay, you're okay. And as I hold that space of love and light, they are slowly and sometimes quickly, but they're brought around to being able to see who they are too. And I was brought up that if someone is asking you for help, man, you're supposed to help them. So they're talking about how they lost their job, and they got evicted, and and their wife, that bitch, she left them, and all this stuff, and all, and years ago it would have been about, oh God, there's a shelter down the street, I think we can get you in there. And I know someone that's hiring, and well, I don't know about your wife, but you might want to think about counseling at this point. And there's a really good place you can get that, a free clinic, that kind of stuff. And that's where I would have gone before. And now it's just more about the sitting and the listening and just the and it's going to be okay. And no, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're just turning a corner, buddy. It's going to be okay. And then to me, that is giving love. That's taking that space of being in the oneness and bringing it to someone that's not feeling very one, you know, at the moment. So, yeah, thank you for letting me play on the side a little bit. And now back to Up the Mountain. So as I continue to grow and learn and get filled more with the Holy Spirit and just be and am letting go of the resistances and forgiveness, I just am naturally in touch with the light within me, and that light is helping me to step further up the mountain. One of the miracles in my life was, and many of you already know, is when I connected to my teacher. And that's one of the reasons I feel that, El Rafael put him in my path was so that I would have a place to walk to, because my teacher, because of his death experience and multidimensional experience, I think he calls it, but because of that, and because of his design and his beauty as a teacher, it inspires me. And every step I take, my focus isn't so much on looking at the ones behind and saying how wonderful I am, and boy, I got it going on, and you guys are losers, or anything like that. And I'm not caught in the struggle, because sometimes those steps up the mountain can be pretty steep and pretty craggy. They're hard to get up, and it becomes about focusing eye on the prize. I can, I can feel that energy. I can know what's above me on the mountain. I can make these steps, and as I do, I'm able to help others. And I think that has to do with being a teacher of God and awakening, and the phrase, as I awaken, I awaken the world. Because as I go up the mountain, you step up the mountain, and then you step up the mountain, and we stepped up the mountain, and we continue to get there, and being able to see my teacher's face in many, many ways is, and to feel his message is a miracle. It's the teacher that God put there for me. And kind of on the side, it's cute, and I still have a few more minutes I got to go here. So one of the things that we also talked about is the teacher and myself this morning was about that going up that path, and how that they were talking about the highest peak and stuff in the world, and that people try to climb it. If you like, there's like 100% chance if you try to climb it with just, okay, let's go, and you didn't have everything, and you just wanted to climb the mountain, you would not succeed. And then they were talking about if you had gear on and you were all set to go and stuff, and you studied the mountain and you had more of a sense of what you were doing, that then you could then you could go forward, and then yeah, sure. And now there's only like 98 or 97 or whatever percent chance that you're going to succeed. So it's not a very big jump. And then if you totally had a coach on the side there with you, and you guys were going together, and they were all Yahoo, and they were yanking and you were yanking, and you're going up the mountain, and you were all prepared and everything and ready to go, that there was, you know, uh, yeah, more of a shot that you would make it up that peak, but not as much. Still, maybe a shot of 90% if you're lucky. So, and then he said, if you have someone that has done it before, and that has climbed before, like the guides and stuff, and real physical guides that take people up mountains, and so you have one of those, and you hire one, and they're going up the mountain, and you're following them. God, it starts, it turns it around where it starts getting to like the 86, whatever percent that you're going to make it. And that's because there is someone else that has been there. And we got to talking about, the path itself, and when one go, two can go, and two will get you 10, and 10 will get you 25. And the more we learn, the more we grow. The higher up the mountain, the more we leave that path and that way of how we did it to others. And as they learn, they bring others with them, and until there's nobody left down there in the valley, till we're all up the mountain, you know and and then it was cute because we were talking about, different ways that could happen. And what about the ones that were handicapped in some way, or in a wheelchair, or whatever, and how would they get up the mountain? And I was talking about hot dogs, like having, there gets to be so many that they have hot dog sales on the side, and people eating and stopping, and all tours and all this stuff, and and then, yeah, that everybody can get up the mountain, because then they're going to have helicopters that are going to get you there, and all this. And it all started from the awakening, from that one person, and then two people, and then 20 people, and we keep walking, and we keep focusing on what matters, on what we value. And that's decided by by God. That's decided by the Christ mind, the Christ consciousness. I join the consciousness, you join the consciousness, we join the consciousness. There's a Beatles song that talks about I am you and you are me and we are one and all that stuff. And it's kind of neat that we can grow together. And boy, I just think back that yes, I was going up the mountain kind of slow, and when my teacher appeared for me, I went into high gear, and it's just, in Manual for Teachers, it talks about that the one thing that the teachers of God do is we save time. We save the time that it would take for awakening, for the at-one-ment, the atonement. The more we go up the mountain, the more they go up the mountain, the more we all go up the mountain. And it saves time, and I absolutely, with all my heart, love being a teacher of God. I didn't know what you called it. I just, and like it talks about in the manual, again, ACIM Manual for Teachers, is that all it takes is for someone to put their, to put someone else up there with them in their regard, to see someone else. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Not to be caught up and down here in my little this and that, and who are you, and screw you, and everything else. Just be able to see someone else's welfare. And I know I'm paraphrasing, but someone else's, the care for someone else, to be able to truly see someone else, like as myself. That's a gift. And if I can do it, then you can do it. And if you can do it, then they can do it. And on and on and on. And that's why my topic today, I wanted to talk about up the mountain. And, I also the value of connecting, because I wouldn't have had this lesson if I hadn't talked to one of my fellow teachers and they hadn't brought up about the question about, how do we teach? Well, my love, this is how we teach. And so thank you. And I'm really getting at this and I'm so excited and I love you all. And, and I guess what I want to say most is I'll see you on the mountain.